Kelly, let's do number 1 because it's the first one, right?
Don't use the same hand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabulous Adventures Travels. It is our first podcast ever. First podcast ever, right?
First podcast ever.
It's not truly our first podcast ever, but this is the first Fabulous Adventures Travels podcast. Wow, that's a handful.
Yeah, name to be
Mouthful.
determined. We're still playing with things.
If we don't like that one, we're going to switch it. It's going to be great.
Episode 2 might have a different name. Episode 3 might have a different name.
Oh my God, we'll just keep changing the name. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. This, if you know us from Talk Virgin to Me, because that is actually where we started, was over at Talk Virgin to Me. We are starting a podcast that is about all things travel.
Yes.
Not just Virgin Voyages, which we still love, but we do other things. And so we want everyone to hear all the other things that we do as well. So if you do not know who we are and you're just watching for the first time, I am Samantha from Fabulous Adventures Travel Company, and this is
Kelly, also from Fabulous Adventures Travel.
Yes. And we, again, are we like to call ourselves the Virgin Voyages Queens, but we're do other things, like I said. So today we're actually going to talk about another cruise line, and it's called Celestyal Cruises. And honestly, Kelly and I were like, who? You're probably actually saying to yourself, who?
Yeah.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
Who? We're going to tell you who right now, because it was one of the best cruises I've ever been on. So they're only over in the Med, so Mediterranean. So we're talking about Greece and Adriatic, and in the winter, they do Dubai and Abu Dhabi, or the Gulf, I should say, not just Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Jeez Louise, don't say that fast.
A mouthful.
Yeah, don't say that fast. But I actually experienced the Gulf. But this year, I am trying to get a group for all of us to go on to experience that as well. And I've actually already started moving towards it. So we'll talk about that when that actually starts to happen. But we're going to talk about Celestyal Cruises right now and the experience that we both had on board, because it was actually really cool. And again, like we said, we knew nothing about it. So the cruise that we did was the Heavenly.
Yes.
Yes, the Heavenly.
On the journey.
I know, look at us like, bro, what's the name of it? The Heavenly?
It's still new, so.
It is still new for us, but we did the Heavenly Adriatic, and it left from Athens, and we went to, I'm reading it off here, Kefalonia, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Bari, Corfu, and Catacolo, and then back to Athens. Catacolo, though, Catacolo? Yeah, Catacolo. Am I saying that right?
Well, they called it 2 different things, because
what was it? Yeah, Corfu.
No.
No, not Corfu.
It
no,
ended
not
with an N.
Catacalon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a little...
Home of the Olympics.
It was home of the Olympics. I totally remember that now. That was an actually really cool thing. So just to tell you what we did. But anyways, let's talk about Celestyal just a little bit. They are a smaller cruise line. There's actually only 2 ships right now with the cruise line. And the 2 ships are smaller in size, and they really focus on what they call heartfelt journeys. So when they say heartfelt journeys, it means that when you get on board, you're like family. You're not getting on board and you're just another number or just another name, whichever you want to say it. You're actually like family. And this I agree with, honestly, with their sales. I feel like they were so sweet to us when we got on board, and they knew who we were throughout the whole thing, and they knew exactly what was going on. Kelly actually spent a little bit more time in the bars, and they knew you guys and knew everything about you. It was
by name.
It was really cool.
Second night, yeah.
So one of the other things that they pride themselves on is icons and rising stars. So that's talking about their ports and their itineraries, because they have some really, really cool ports and itineraries. One of the obviously we said we were on the Heavenly. I'm not kidding when I tell you that this was one of the best cruises that I've ever been on. The itinerary was phenomenal. Not only because I've never visited at any of those, right?
Nope,
we haven't been to any of them.
Yeah.
But they also go to, like I said, the Gulf and such. And there's not many cruise lines that do that. There's not many cruise lines that go over there because, let's be honest, it's not the most popular place on the planet for a lot of people. So not a lot of cruise lines actually go over there. And when I did go there this December, past December, I literally was like, I don't know about this, but I fell in love with the place. So when we say that their itineraries are different, they're completely different. And here's another reason why. They do 3 and 4 night cruises in Greece, which is nobody does 3 and 4 night unless you're on a ferry. And I'm exaggerating because ferries don't do that. Nobody does 3 and 4 night cruises in Greece. So if you wanted to do a land tour and then go and have like a really short time going to Mykonos and Santorini, seeing those other islands really quickly, this is how you do it. You do a land tour in Greece and then go and take the ship quickly around to the other islands. Or you do the 3 and 4 nighter together as a 7 nighter, which you could do if you wanted to visit them. But check those out. They also have a 7 nighter Greek called the idyllic, oh gosh, this is the worst word ever for me. Aegean. I don't know why I can never get that word right. But anyways, this one goes from Athens to Ephesus. Now, let me start by saying to you that when we were on Virgin Voyages years ago, it went to, Turkey. Bodrum. And one of the excursions was Ephesus. And Ephesus is where oh gosh, please forgive me for this, but it's about Mother Mary. I think she was either born there. I'm pretty sure that's what she was. She was born there. So it was it's a huge religious area, but really cool, rich in history, obviously, and someplace that a lot of people want to go. Well, I really wanted to go, but when we went to Bodrum, it was so far that I was like, I am not getting on a boat or a bus for 3 hours. Well, they take you actually right to it on this idyllic Aegean 7-nighter. They also go to Rhodes, Crete, Santorini, and Mykonos. And Mykonos is almost an overnight. So it gets in at 8 a.m. and you leave at 2 a.m., which is really cool because you get to experience the Mykonos nightlife.
Oh, that's the best.
Which we have somewhat experienced it. We had a really good time at Sunset Bar 180.
180 degrees Sunset Bar.
Yeah. I like to put the words in different places. So if you're also new to this podcast, know that like when I say the words, they're usually right, but they might not be in the same place. So if you just Google it, I'm sure it'll pop up because it's very popular in Mykonos. And then it goes to Milos and then back to Athens. So they do have 7-nighters. They also have 3 and 4 nighters. They have 3 and 4 nighters in the Gulf as well as a 7-nighter. So they have some really, really cool itineraries. But what I do want to point out again, and I know we're talking about the company a lot because we want you to kind of know about them a little bit more before we get into our experiences, is that almost everything is included. So really cool. Like the price is what it is and it's all included. So let's go over what's included. So first of all,
Wi-Fi.
What? Wi-Fi is included. Like, how cool is that? You can still talk to your people back home if you want to. If you want to. Or if you like to death scroll, doom scroll, whatever the heck they call it. I think I totally said it wrong. I think it's doom scroll. I called it zombie scrolling. That's another one too. You can totally do that. Wi-Fi is included. Your basic beverages. So like your soda and all that's included. Not extra, which is amazing. What else? Dining is included.
They do have specialty restaurants that they do have upcharges for, but they do have some great dining that's included as well. So.
And we did some really great specialty restaurants too. And then what's the other thing? Gratuities. You don't have to pay for gratuities. And guess what? Let me tell you something. These people were happy. They were like some of the happiest people, like the crew, I'm saying. So nice.
Yeah, they were.
Like they just love what they do. Like it was so cool that they were so happy. And I always think it's nice when it's a smaller ship. So when I was in my younger years, I liked a very big ship, where it had all the things. And now that I'm in my older years, I like smaller ships. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Yeah. I used to laugh at people like, I like a smaller ship. And I'd be like, ew, what is wrong with you? Ew, David. Name that show. And I'd be like, what is wrong with you? But now, I think I love the smaller ship. I love the experience. I love the way that it feels. And they go into cooler places.
Yeah. And if you were listening to all the ports she listed off, you'll notice that there are no sea days. Oh. You're at a port every single day. I think there's one 7-nighter that has a sea day somewhere in there, but most of their cruises are port to port to port to port. So they are exhausting. I'll tell you that.
So exhausting. And don't forget that jet lag. So that kicks in at some point. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but it's nice to go. You're literally in a floating hotel, which cruises mostly are. But this is, you come back to the cabin, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning in a new place. Same thing every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I love that about it too. That's the thing about the Med. So I do want to point out that when you go over to the Med, the ship doesn't matter. The size kind of does matter because it takes you a little bit longer, and there's a lot. You don't get to go in as many ports and smaller ports as you do when they're smaller ships. But that stuff doesn't matter over in the Med because of the fact that you're never on board. And if you are, you went to the wrong cruise. You should have come to the Caribbean because there's just so much to do. You didn't fly all the way. Let's be honest. You did not fly all the way over there to the Med to sit on the ship. You just didn't.
No, you didn't.
Like, why would you? So you're definitely getting off. And I love that about the fact that there's no sea days. That I think is phenomenal. And like Kelly said, you're just going, and you're exhausted. So the other thing that we suggest, and this is just little tips and tricks here, is come in a couple days early. So when we start this, you're going to hear, because I'm about to start it right now, you're going to hear what we did, which was a little stressful, but it was because of our travel schedules that we had to do it this way. But come in a couple days earlier, because what it helps with, first of all, the stress that you're not stressed, you're going to miss the boat, which we were. And the fact that you kind of start to get used to you get acclimated to the time change, and that you're not, because you will be going, that you won't be doing that totally exhausted. You'll be a little bit more acclimated to the time.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah. So that brings us to our travels on there. So like we said, we were on the journey and we did the, Heavenly, and it was phenomenal. So we did fly in that morning of, we met in Newark, was it? Didn't we meet in Newark?
In Newark, yep.
Because I came from California. We met in Newark and then we went over to Athens, and we were a little stressed about that, and we were like, get the luggage, let's go, because it left at, actually, let me just see what time it leaves.
It's 12. You have to be on board by 12.
It was like, it says 1 o'clock it leaves, but you have to be on board by 12, and we left. We definitely left at that time. So anyways, we were a little stressed about that, but we made it. Super easy. Oh my gosh, getting on board was super easy. Everything was great. Not to be honest, to be honest, we were like the last ones, I think. So everyone else was probably already on board. So that wasn't bad. But we got on board. We went straight to the cabin, and that was ready. The only thing that I would say that was really difficult was, of course, the muster drill, which I like to affectionately call the mustard drill, which is not what it's called. But that was the hardest part because they still do it the Greek way, is what I'm going to call it. So it was definitely the Greek way, which, by the way, was hysterical. So we had to actually put on the life jacket and walk with it, which we haven't had to do in years. If you remember back in the day in cruising, it was hysterical because I'd be like, why are we standing here for so long? All I got to do is know where I got to go when the ship goes down. And let's be honest, I ain't going there anyway. So if you ever followed us, you know what my game plan is. If you've ever listened to one of our podcasts, you know that I'm just jumping overboard with my life jacket on. I ain't waiting for no boat. If this thing's going down like the Titanic, I am jumping off with my life jacket on and hoping I don't get sucked down with the ship. But anyways, that's my plan. So we had to go and put the jacket on and go and stand there and wait. And we stood there for a while. So I will say this is the one and only thing, in my opinion, that just needs to be changed because it was damn near killed us.
Yeah, we stood there a long
time. We got pictures upon pictures upon pictures of us still standing there and people showing up. And it was hysterical. Like, we're like, where you been? Where you been?
We're waiting on you.
Waiting on you, people. And then they're making the poor kids put their jackets on. So yeah, it was definitely interesting. But listen, if that's what you have to go through to get through to the next part, because it was literally the best cruise ever, that's what you have to go through to get to the next part, because it was such so much fun. So our first stop was what? Oh gosh, let me look at my cheat sheet. I got to get my cheat sheet back out. Our first stop was Kefalonia, and we actually scheduled our own private tour there, right? Mm-hmm. So a couple of things that they asked, let me back up and say that a couple of things that they asked us was, what do you want to do? And I had done something on Virgin a long time ago that I absolutely loved, and it was an excursion, but I love to do things privately. So not that I'm a private person, I just don't want to wait for the bus. It's not my jam. I don't want to wait for other people. I want to do it privately. So one of the things that we asked for was to cook with a little Greek grandma, and learn how to cook with her and eat homemade food. So that was in the works. And then what was the other thing that I asked for? Did I say a boat too? I can't remember what I was like. Oh, I want to do this too.
I don't remember.
I don't remember too. It was another thing that we were totally like. So anyways, let me back up and say that that Celestyal is very known for their curated, really, really good shore excursions. Like, oh my God, the ones that we experienced with them were phenomenal. The ones that we also experienced on our own were also phenomenal. But the ones that they curated were unreal and so much fun and just lovely, honestly. So we ended up booking our own private tour on this one. We didn't really know what to do, but this was where we did the cave. I just remembered. Remember the sweet lady that was so cute. So we had a guide and a driver, and this was where the caves. I can't think of the name of the caves. Hold on, I'm going to my other cheat sheet, which is my photos, so that it'll tell me the name of it. But we did this private tour, and in the private tour, they took us to this cave. Well, we walked down and we saw the stalactites. Yeah, that's what it was. We walked down and saw that cave, and that was phenomenal. I can't think of the name of it. So we walked through there. We'll post pictures on here, obviously. And then we took a rowboat into, let's see if it says it on here. Hold on. Nope. Again, it's in Greek. So of course it shows it, right? Like when you look at it, the geometrics on it's pulling it in the Greek name. Oh, for the love. Oh my God, the rowboat in the blue cave was like nothing I've ever experienced before. I have the most lovely picture that I'm going to point right here because Ariana's going to put it up there right here now. I have the most lovely picture of the sun coming down through the crater onto the most blue, clear water you've ever seen in your life. And I wish it was our rowboat that we were in, but it was another rowboat of people that are down there. But it's the most beautiful, amazing picture. I honestly was blown away by that place. You see it in pictures and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. But then when you're there, I wanted to go again. I honestly wanted to go again. And one of the things that we did that I think was awesome was that we did it during a time that it's not busy.
Right.
So they said that had we done this in the summer, it would have been 2 hours long, the wait of getting through that line. And we just walked right on.
And I think we were there right before an excursion because when we got off, the line was so long up.
It was our people from Celestyal, by the way.
You have to walk down into it. And when we left, I was like, oh, gosh, we got here at the perfect time because the buses showed up right after we were done.
Yeah, it was funny because we followed Celestyal or they followed us one way or the other. And then after that, they took us to a really cool spot that was closed and would have been abs on the water. Just beautiful restaurant. You can tell it had bougainvillea at some point, flourishing somewhere, and it's not there anymore, obviously, because it was cold. And it wasn't actually really cold. It was just nice. It's just cold for that time of year. And it was just on the water and beautiful. And then they took us, remember, to the beaches. And we were on a cliff overlooking the beaches. And she was like, this is where private boats come in. The yachts come in and dock. She's like, famous people come in here and dock on these beaches. And I was like, what the heck is this island?
It was beautiful.
That island was unreal. So let me tell you something. While it was part of this cruise, go back on the land because it was like, that's one of the places, honest to God, I would totally 1000% go stay in Greece, an island hop, Kefalonia, probably saying it wrong, but go do it. It's phenomenal. And they say it's not like uber busy because it's not Mykonos and Santorini. Everyone wants to go to Mykonos and Santorini. They don't all go to the same ones. Okay. So after that, we went to, hold on, I'm using my cheat sheet. What was it, Kelly? Do you remember?
I want to say Dubrovnik, but I'm probably wrong.
You're right. Whoa. We went to Dubrovnik. Now, so Dubrovnik had this make your own gin class. This is through Celestyal. It was an excursion through Celestyal. It was called Make Your Own Gin, and we signed up for it. Well, they ended up canceling on us because they said that there was nobody in it, and so we went downstairs and we're like, listen, we'll pay for it. Can we just do it? Like, charge us what you want to charge, like charge us a little bit more. We want to do it, make it private. And they went, okay. And they totally did that. And so it was just the four of us that were in there making this gin. And you had your own little distillery in front of you. Distillery?
Yeah.
Maybe? Is that the name of it?
I think the distillery is the
Yeah, it's a big one.
So it's
Yeah. Distiller. There we go. You had your own distiller. And he turned it on and he taught us how, and we're drinking gin while we're making it. And you get to make your own gin. Like you're choosing the different
Spices
concoctions and spices and
flavors and
yeah. And he's telling you how much. He's like, if you put in this much, you have to put in this much. If you put like, oh my God, it was so cool. And then he's like, wait for it. And then it would start dripping and you're like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. I'm making my own gin. So you couldn't drink it then. You did have to take it home with you because it had to sit. And then it had to sit a couple more weeks after we added
distilled
water to it. And then you could drink it. Kelly's already had hers. I've not had mine. Mine's still sitting on the counter waiting for the moment of truth if my gin is good.
We're going to have a gin off.
We are going to have a gin off.
We are.
We totally need a gin off. And then after we left there, we personally said thank you for that. And we all parted ways. And we went to the main city center of Dubrovnik and walked the walls, which was phenomenal. And we walked them late, so there was nobody on there. It was actually slightly raining. Again, if you're prepared for that, it's not bad because there's not a soul up there. I can't imagine that place in the summer.
I can't either.
Can you imagine like shoveling through?
Exactly. You have to wait. You can't really go around people
Yeah.
in certain spots. So you're stuck.
Oh yeah, there's certain spots
There
you
was
ain't
a
getting
spot
around.
that we got stuck behind a tour and we couldn't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, and they were just lumbering through there. They're like, it was like
As soon as they opened up and moved away, we're like,
yeah. As soon as they pulled over, they were like, "We'll pull over right here." I was like, "Thank you, ching," because I'm like, "What is happening?" They were just so slow. So this is why I can't go on full tours. I gotta have my own, because I'm like, we gotta go. So then we walked around the whole thing, and then when we got done, I had seen the bar that is ever so popular. Which again, I should probably.
Bar.
Okay, Kelly remembered. Woohoo! The Booza Bar?
Yeah, because I actually saw it on
my
Amazing
God.
Race. It was on the Amazing Race this year.
So we went there and saw the sunset.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. We went there and saw the sunset, which was amazing, like you said. Again, probably not the same as in the summer, but I don't really care because it was still pretty and it was still great. But I will tell you, there's no bathroom. So if you have to go to the bathroom, forget about it. And at the Booza Bar,
It wasn't really alcohol.
yeah,
It was
here's your beer.
Yeah, beer and like
Hold my beer.
Wine coolers.
Yeah,
type
wine
things.
coolers. There was no bar. So maybe in the summer there is. Maybe they're a little
They
bit
didn't
more.
replenish.
Yeah, but they knew obviously that it wasn't going to be so popular. But it was still popular. I got to be honest. Not like a summer, I'm sure, where there's a line out the door. And by the way, you ain't going to be able to find this place. You can see it when you're walking on the, what the heck's it called? Not rooftops, but the walk around the city center, the walls, walking around the walls. But when you're walking inside the city, you cannot find this place. Like we barely found. They thought I was dragging them to. I don't know where they thought I was dragging them. I'm like, come on. They're like, are you sure you're going the right way? I got this. We're going the right way. And we finally found it. And the thing that we laughed at is these poor people were dragging their luggage through the cobblestone streets trying to find their hotel or their B&B, whatever, Airbnb. So yeah, it was so funny. But then after that, we found a restaurant and we ate there. And that was just a random happenstance. We didn't plan that out. And then we just took a taxi back to the ship. But I will say, I probably should just keep this open to the times. I will say
That was an overnight-ish.
That was an
because I think we
overnight-ish,
left
yeah.
at like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, 2:30. That's what I was going to look at. It was 2:30 that we were supposed to leave at, but we got back on board at, I don't know what time it was.
I don't know either. We spent the day out.
Yeah.
So,
It was like, we got back at like 11:30. I think it was pretty late.
yeah.
The next place we went to was Couture, which by the way, I'm probably saying Couture. I'm saying it like it's a fashion clothing place, but it was actually Montenegro. So I was kind of like, meh, like what are we going to Montenegro for? Can we just skip it and go to Italy? Because Italy was next and I couldn't wait for Italy. So we also hired a private driver there. And I was kind of like, well, Montenegro, Couture, I have no idea, was a tender port. So you're far out, by the way. You're pretty far on this tender port. Like you're going for like 10 minutes at least. Well, what we missed on the way in, and this is your pro tip, don't miss coming into the fjords, into Tender, into Montenegro. It was absolutely gorgeous. Like when we finally docked, I'm like, what is this place? Holy cow, it's gorgeous. And I was really bummed that we missed coming in because we just didn't know that's what it probably was gorgeous in the morning. Because at night we left at the darkness of night. You couldn't see anything. So anyways, we hired a private driver there. He took us around. Gosh, he took us everywhere you could possibly imagine. He was phenomenal. we saw all kinds of things. We saw like the oldest churches, and we had the most lovely lunch, because he suggested it. And he told us what you're supposed to eat and drink in Montenegro. And by the way, he said that they had the best, cappuccino? Was it cappuccino?
I think so.
I think it was a cup of coffee of sorts. It was either cappuccino or espresso, one of the two. Maybe it was espresso. He said they make it better than the Italians. And we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're like, we don't believe that. He's like, oh yeah, we do. And then he goes, and we also have this liquor that you're supposed to drink, and you drink it with lunch. And I can't remember for the life of me what the heck the name of it was.
I can't either.
Again, we'll put it up there at the end. But he told us, he's like, you got to have that with lunch. And then he said, we make the best charcuterie boards. And we were like, oh, okay, come on, guy. He's like, no. And he explained how the Italians actually, there's a ton of Italians that live there. So the culture and the food are all there in Montenegro. So I thought that was really interesting. And I have to say that the charcuterie board was pretty good. He wasn't lying. But our view was unreal. It was of St. Nicholas Island, or Nicholas Island. Maybe it wasn't St. It was Nicholas Island. And it was unreal. And the day was beautiful, drinking wine, and the weather was amazing. It was just perfect. And I have to say, that was another just amazing day. Like, I'm blown away. I'm dying to go back to Montenegro. So one of the things that I want to do for my very important birthday coming up, which we won't say the number, we'll just say that it ends in a 0, and you can guess the first number. And so that very important birthday number, I would like to do a Croatia private yacht. And one of the things that I said was I would love to go back to Montenegro because they're literally right next door. And so close, like it probably took us, honestly, we probably floated around before we went into Montenegro. I would love to do a yacht to go in there because Montenegro was unreal. Unreal. So here I am poo-pooing it, and I had no idea it was going to be like one of my favorite places. So we left there remember how much fun we had in Montenegro? We ended up back in the city center, so our guide dropped us off back in the city center. And which, by the way, if you don't do anything in Montenegro, you just get off the ship, there is a really cool city center that you can just walk to. And it's another walled city. Mm-hmm. They're all walled, by the way, and I think you can actually walk the walls. But we had said that we experienced enough wall walking in Dubrovnik, and we were okay missing these wall walking times. So we end up back in the city center, and we decide that we're going to have Italian food because, of course, we've got to try if the Italian food's actually just as good as this guy says. And we're going to Italy tomorrow, so we're like, forget it. We're going to try it and compare the two. I'm going to be honest, Italy won. Don't you think they won? Mm. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Montenegro. We still love you, but Italy won on that pasta thing. Maybe we chose the wrong place, but Italy definitely won on the pasta. So we had pasta there. Well, anyways, we had a grand old time. We went somewhere else for a drink because we didn't have to be back on the ship until 17 o'clock. What's that? 17. 8.
5.
Yeah. 17. Oh, yeah, 5. So we didn't have 5? That seems awfully early. No, ours must have been, this must be different.
Oh, maybe.
Ours was later. Hold on. Let me refer to the pictures. I'll tell you what time we got back on the ship. Well, this was 5:50. We took this picture in the Irish bar. And at 6:27, we were rolling up on the on the very last tender. Do you remember that? How cold it was?
I do.
So we rolled up to the tender or to get on it, and they were like, okay, get in, but we're still waiting for 3 more people one more person. And we were like, okay, so we get on and we're waiting. And we're like, and this was the last tender boat, the last one. And we're waiting. Finally, someone goes, they're like, yeah. Oh, we can go now. We're like, well, what about these other people? And they're like, oh, we counted wrong. They're like, they're already on board. So then there we go. So off we went, and we got back at 6:27. So yeah, maybe it is 5 o'clock.
I do remember freezing.
It was freezing on the way home because there was no sun.
I was like in Anthony's.
Yeah,
hood,
yeah, we were all huddled like in our jackets because it was cold.
Yeah.
And then the next day was Italy. So
motherland.
Yes, we hired, and actually I think they helped us with this, finding us. Yeah, they did help us with this. We asked for a private driver, and they helped us finding a private driver and a tour guide. And so I wanted to go to Albarello, which is, it was unreal. Like I know that I'm not doing a really good job explaining this, but I'm being honest with you when I tell you that I was blown away the entire trip. So we go to Albarello and there was they're calling the little Italian huts, and they're these stone, not even stones, I guess stone, right? Huts with grass tops on them. It is the coolest little town you'll ever imagine. So Celestyal actually does do a group there, and we had thought about just taking the bus with them and doing our own thing. But like I mentioned, I like to do things privately. So we did get a guide there. He walked us around. Oh my gosh, told us everything about it. We had some of the best pictures because we also got there before everyone else. So there was nobody there when we first got there. Then he walked us into one of the huts, this little old Italian man. I don't know that he was little, though. I got to be honest.
No, he was not little.
He was not little by any means, but he was definitely an old Italian man. And he was like, here, try some of these nuts I'm roasting on the fire in here. So he's handing out chestnuts, right? And then he's like, have some of this wine. And the wine is like out of a bottle that he reused 7 times. And I'm like, oh my God, we're drinking wine out of a bottle that's been reused 7 times. I'm panicking. But like, it was the best wine. We're like, where'd you get this wine? He's like, oh, I just made it from the rooftops. Like he had like grapevines. Like he literally just made the wine himself. It was homemade wine. It was some of the best wine I'd ever drunk out of a plastic shot cup. Wasn't it? I can't remember. It was so absolutely ridiculous, but absolutely wonderful at the same time. Like, what an amazing experience. I did not have the nuts because I'm not a big nut fan. So did you eat them?
I did not.
Yeah.
I'm not a big nut fan.
The boys did. So I think they both had them and they liked it. And then I was like, when he said wine, I was like, it's so hard for me to turn it down, but I'm looking at this bottle going, I'm not sure, but I'm in. Like, I was like, don't twist my arm too much. So he ended up giving us a wine, but I was like, oh man, it was such a cool experience. And we stayed there for a little bit and we ate around the place there. Mm-hmm. We had some amazing meals in there, drank wine, had charcuterie boards, ate cheese, and then decided to go back because we couldn't find a place to eat. And we tried to get out of there because it's starting to fill up with tourists. So we go back to Bari actually, and we started walking around. So in Bari, there's a little street called Nona's Pasta Street. If you type it in Google, everyone will know what it is in Bari. Just type in Nona's Pasta Street. And everywhere you go, there's a little Nona sitting outside making orecchiette like this and selling it in a plastic baggie from Ziploc and, selling it to you for like $2. And I wanted to buy the whole place out. I got a picture with little Nona. Like she's literally my favorite thing on the planet now. And some of them have pictures of them being famous. Like it is the coolest thing. So then we walked around in Bari, which by the way, Bari is actually really, really cool. We walked around Bari as well, the town, and ended up at a Italian place. Mm-hmm. Well,
sitting outside. Most of the time we sat outside everywhere we ate.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, we did because it was just the weather was just phenomenal. So people think to not go during that time. We went, by the way, we didn't mention this. We went November, second week of November, almost the third week actually, because there's a little bit of November in that first week, and they do the 1-2 on Friday and Saturday. And then, so it was technically the second week, but kind of the third week. So, and it was, the weather was phenomenal. Honestly, I thought we were going to be freezing. I thought we were going to be bundled up, all sorts of a hot mess, but we were not. It was beautiful. And so we ate outside and we ended up eating pasta because why wouldn't we eat pasta? And had just the best time. And then our driver took us back. We walked around a church really quickly.
Yeah.
Because you can't go to Europe without walking around a church. I don't know if we had been around a church at that point. Actually, that might have been our first church. So we were like, we're in Italy, got to go around a church. That's what you do. So we went around the church. Actually, that was our second church because I forgot we went around one in Albarello.
Yeah.
So then we did that and then we went back to the ship, which was really cool. And then after we left Italy, we went to Corfu. Corfu this is where we met our little Italian grandma lady. Not Italian, whoopsies, Greek. A little Greek lady that cooked for us. So again, Celestyal curated this for us and found someone to take us around and found someone to take us to a restaurant. We have a new family in Corfu. A new family, 100%, where they've invited us back for Greek Orthodox Easter so that we can throw plates from the balconies and enjoy all the lamb during that time frame. Like It was unreal. So basically she picked us up, kind of told us about the place, and then took us to this restaurant. And then they brought us back and said, this is what we're going to make. But we got to go to the store first. We were like, oh, okay. Well, okay. But the store wasn't it was down the street, 2 houses down. It was actually in a house pretty much. Right.
Yeah.
And we go in there.
Little
market. We go in there and there's a whole spread waiting for us of food and things that they were so excited to make us.
Feta cheese. Say no more.
Exactly. The feta cheese was like nothing I've ever eaten before in feta cheese. All of it. So then they start. Now, okay, mind you, remember when I said that the bottle from Italy that was reused 7 times? We're now drinking, Ouzo,
yeah.
Ouzo out of a reused plastic water bottle. The guy's like, you want a drink? But he speaks no English, by the way, just so you know. He's like, and we're like, oh, okay. And he doesn't wait for us to say yes, because that's in the true, Greek, Italian way. Nobody says yes. They just hand and they don't care.
And you're going to drink when you're in someone's home. That's what it was. Yeah.
They don't care. They just hand it to you. And now you're like, what's in this? Oh God, somebody help me. Because I'm very picky of an eater. So I was like, oh, what is this weird thing with the weird colors in it? And it happened to be a pork roll. Remember that? Yeah. That we ate a pork roll? It was good though. Don't know that I'll eat it again, but it was good-ish.
I'm with you. Yeah.
It was good-ish. We'll go with that. So anyways, he brings out this water bottle that's literally, been reused 7 times, but now has ouzo in it. And if you've never had ouzo, what's it like? The licorice stuff. Sambuca,
yeah.
Sambuca.
I'm not a big fan of Sambuca or black licorice.
No, me neither. But when you're in Greece, I'm going to have the ouzo.
You're going to eat the food and you're going to drink the drink.
Here we are. So he hands us this, and as soon as we drink it, he's so proud of himself that we drank it. He's like, here's more. And we're like, no. And he just hands us more. And then they're bringing out more food. And then they're teaching us how to pick out tomatoes and cucumbers because we're making a Greek salad. So I was nothing. And then
they taught us what the difference is in the cucumbers, whether you want to make taziki with it
or
you want to put it in a salad. They have to feel different. These are prickly. This one's softer. I can't remember right now which one is which off the top of my head. But there is a difference between which one you use for what.
It was crazy. So then, not crazy, bad, crazy good. It was just such an experience.
They also taught us how to pick out tomatoes by smelling them. We went and
I can still smell it.
We went and picked out the biggest tomatoes because we were like, "Ooh, this must be good. It's big." And she comes out and she's like, "Oh, that's not good."
She stole it out of my hand.
Does it smell like she would put it up to your nose and make you smell it? And this one didn't smell, so you put it back. You got to go for the ones that smell.
Just so you know, we probably have nose juice tomatoes now because all of them have been smelt by all of the Greek ladies looking for the perfect
We had enough ouzo, we didn't care.
Yeah.
Nose juice.
We definitely have nose juice tomatoes now because we've had nose juice Greek salad. So yeah, that's great. I know, but it really was super cool when they did that for us. We were like, oh my gosh. And she's like, smell this. Do you smell it? We're like, yeah, totally smell it. I don't know that I did. I got to be honest. It's like, do you see it? Yeah, I see it. Nope, don't see it. So I was like, I'm like, yeah, sure, I smell it. It's great. No, it was awesome. So we did all that. And then we went back and we started to cook. We made this amazing, almost like pot roast, because it was that kind of beef with bucatini.
There is a name for it. I have it in my phone. But
oh, you do?
It's on the ground.
Okay. Well, look at us with our names. We're terrible with them. So yeah, so we made that, and then we made the Greek salad. Oh no, she ended up making the Greek salad. We didn't end up making. Oh, we made tzatziki. Oh, I could eat my weight in tzatziki and Greek salad. That's it. Give me real good tzatziki and Greek salad, and that's all I need. That's all I need to eat all day. For days. I should be Greek, honestly. So that's what we did, and that was so much fun. And we just sat there and drank, and they kept giving us bottles of wine and they just spoiled us rotten. If you've ever met 2 people that were spoiled rotten on that day, that was us. They were just wonderful. And then I don't remember what we had for dessert, but it was honey fried pitas, I think. Remember?
Okay, we made the thing out of the phyllo dough and the cheese in the middle.
I forgot about that. Yes.
That was good.
We need to make those.
Yeah, we made those ourselves. We had a roll, and with Grandma standing over our shoulder telling us
she was
whether
bad.
or not that we were doing it right.
Yeah.
Because you fold them like a foot. Remember when those footballs. You make paper
Yeah,
footballs.
yeah.
That's how
Fold
it
them
was.
like
You
that.
fold this, you fold that, you fold this. Yeah.
Yeah.
She judged every one of them.
She did judge everyone. I was like, oh, dang.
She probably fixed them
she's giving us
before
the
they
side
went in the
eye.
fryer.
Yeah, she threw ours out and used the ones that she had stored in the fridge. She's like, yeah, these suck. Oh, goodbye. They're gonna fall apart, fall to pieces. So yeah, we did that, and then the next day we went to Catacolo, and that's where we saw where the first Olympics was. So we did this with Celestyal. We did this excursion. It was again phenomenal. They just did an amazing job. And actually it was very enjoyable with a group of people. Because again, as you know, I don't like groups, but this was a great, enjoyable group excursion. So we went to see the Olympics. It was not close, by the way, just so you know. We went to see the old place where the Olympics started. And then after that, we went to the olive
farm.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I became an olive oil fan like nobody's business. I've always been an olive oil fan, but this I now take a tablespoon of it in the morning every day because they have convinced me that the olive oil will cure all of my ailments. So I now tablespoon olive oil, specific olive oil, not just, the stuff from Walmart and all the other places. Their olive oil, of course. Why wouldn't I buy that? So they have now convinced me that I have to tablespoon that every morning to fix myself. It was unreal.
Yeah, we sat in a room and they taught us everything. There was soaps and creams and all kinds of things made of olive oil.
Yeah.
And then they had all different flavored olive oil that we stood in line and tasted them. You can dip bread in them, and they had cheese and whatever. And then they took us and fed us a full meal. We all sat there, and you can go up and get different flavored olive oil for your bread. It was really cool.
It was so, so cool. And the food, like we said, was phenomenal. And I actually ended up bringing home like all kinds of olive oil. I don't even know what else I bought. I bought all kinds of stuff at that place. That's where I bought the most stuff.
Yeah.
Was there. My suitcase weighed a ton because I had like 7 bottles of olive oil to bring home. Because I was like, nobody else makes it as good as this place. Like there's nowhere else in the world that makes olive oil. So it was actually really, really cool. That excursion was awesome.
It was.
Listen, the whole trip was awesome. We didn't talk too much about the actual ship, but the ship was phenomenal as well. Like we said, it was a smaller ship, so everything was very quaint and easy to get to. You had no issues. They were all on the same deck. You knew where all of that stuff was. Our cabin was the Grand Dream Suite, which I highly suggest. The freaking bathroom was phenomenal. The closet was massive. Yeah. You had a sitting area. It came with a bunch of extras like the concierge and all kinds of stuff. We got aperitifs during the day, if that's even an aperitif. I guess it was like, maybe it was that night. Shoot. There's a lounge too that goes with it. So the Grand Suite has a lounge that you can go to and have coffee and, little bites and stuff, which was nice. Food on board was really good. So we did get to eat at the grill. I can't think of the name of it.
Grill Seekers? No.
Grill Seekers, right?
No.
Yeah. No?
Is it?
Hold on.
Pink Moon was one of them.
Pink Moon. We also did a wine tasting on board. Oh my gosh, we had
2.
so much fun.
2
Yeah,
wine
we did
tastings.
2. Yes.
We had a
Grill Seekers. You're right.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah. And the food was so great. The Grill Seekers was actually really good. Pink Moon was awesome. It was a Chinese restaurant or Asian fusion, I should say. Asian fusion. And then we ate at there's also a dining for the suite guests, and we ate at the dining there as well, and it was really good. But I gotta be honest, when you're in the Med, you don't eat too much on the ship because of the fact that you're out most of the day. And let me tell you, you ain't going to Italy and not eating, because if you are, then you should probably not be watching this podcast. Let's be honest, because you have to go eat in Italy. Like, that's silly if you're not eating. So, there's not a lot of eating that's done, but I will say they're known for their drinks. Their drinks on board, their alcoholic drinks, and the stuff that they create is unreal. Their craft cocktail, right? Craft cocktail.
Awards.
Won awards, like unreal. Like when I walked up, I was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, that's a drink. It had this glass like sugar wall coming off the top of the martini, and it came to a point, and then the martini was in the glass. I was like, it was so cool. So we had some really cool drinks, like really cool drinks. And they have a really fun bar up at the top, And we had the best time up there. We would go up there at night and drink and party and dance, and super, super fun. So when you're going from place to place to place, we watched a bunch of entertainment, which was actually really, really good too. The entertainment was fun. And I loved the way they did it. It wasn't real seats. Like the theater didn't have like real like sit down theater seats. It was like little tables, like you were at a cabaret. So I loved that about it. I thought it was cool how they did that.
Yeah.
And then like we said, we did 2 wine tastings. Ay. And we had so much fun. They were super fun at that. I'm scrolling through my pictures to see what I missed. But yeah, the drinks were awesome. So cool. But yeah, that was pretty much it, right? Did we nail everything?
I think so.
So that's our Celestyal cruises. I will say to you that I did Dubai. I did Abu Dhabi to Dubai. It was very short because I also went over to the F1, and I'll do a podcast on that to talk about it because I do want to talk about my experience over in Dubai and everything that we did over there. So that because we're gonna do our own. Yep. We're gonna do our own group tour of that because it's gonna be super fun. So we have to find a new ending phrase. We had one for Talk Virgin to Me. We don't anymore. But thank you all so much for joining. Please follow Kelly and I on Facebook. It's Samantha-Fabulous Adventures Travel. And it's
Kelly-Fabulous. I can't speak. Kelly-Fabulous Adventures Travel.
And follow our travels this year because like we said, we're going to talk about Disneyland Paris. We're going to talk about Paris. We're going to talk about Celestial. We are probably Celebrity. Gosh, what else are we doing? We got more coming up, but they're not on the docket yet. They're not on the list of things to do. But thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.